I'm publishing this video in response to a student question that I get often, and that is, what are the self-publishing costs? Now, one is tempted to be flippant and just say, oh, self-publishing is free. But in reality, when you dig into it, that's not the case. Welcome. My name is Brian Jackson, and I've published well over 100 books during the last 8 years. In this short video, I'll be discussing the costs associated with self-publishing a book. Now, the primary cost of self-publishing is your time spent writing, self-publishing, and promoting your book. The monetary costs are many and potentially significant, though most of them are largely avoidable. I've divided expenses into one-time expenses and recurring expenses that you'll have to pay per book published. I conclude the video with a discussion of common book marketing expenses, which can become excessive. For each expense, I've provided a high-end, average, and low-end estimates and projected what you're most likely to have to pay if you follow my suggestions. In order to explain expenses, I'll by necessity also be explaining the self-publishing process. In the end, I believe you'll find that self-publishing a book is less expensive than you originally thought. These, then, are the costs associated with self-publishing a book. We'll begin with the one-time expenses. One-time expenses include getting a computer, any low-end computer will do, finding an editor with which you'll write your book. Common editors include Word, Scrivener, or Google Docs, and optional software like Grammarly to do grammar checking. Now, as far as a computer, you don't need a powerful computer to write and self-publish a book. Virtually any computer can do. Computers range from low-end computers, a $500 desktop, to a $1,000 laptop, and a high-end $1,500 computer. Note that Macs are more expensive than PCs. But I've written and self-published using a $149 Chromebook. You're likely to be watching this video on a powerful enough computer to self-publish your book. The editor. An editor is software that runs on your computer, or not, allowing you to write your book. The 3 editors most commonly used by writers are Microsoft Word, which costs about $60 a year to license Microsoft Office 365. Scrivener, which has a lot of writing features in it, is a one-time cost of $45. And Google Docs, which runs online as a web application and is free. I've written books using all 3 editors, and personally I prefer Microsoft Word. Optional software includes such products as Grammarly. Now, I've never used Grammarly, so I'm not promoting it, but it seems a little expensive for just doing grammar checking. However, if you're going to go without a copy editor, you might want to consider it. The only other piece of software you'll need is a free web browser to upload your manuscript to each publishing site. Now, here's the one-time expenses all summarized in a table. You can see that the low-end expenses, if you need to buy a computer and software and so on, is about $560. Average, a little over $1,000. High-end, which I don't recommend you try unless you have other computing-intensive applications to run, is about $1,600. Now, I'm betting you probably have a computer with Microsoft Office on it. It really doesn't matter what version of Microsoft Office. And I can't recommend the optional software like Grammarly. Keep it inexpensive on your first book. So I'm predicting that you have to spend about $0 for the one-time expenses. Now for the recurring expenses. Recurring expenses include writing. You can actually pay somebody to write your book for you. Editing. Now, copy editing is expensive and required. Book cover. Don't use the free Amazon book cover creator that comes with KDP and CreateSpace. Kindle publishing, a must that can also be hired out. Paperback publishing, a recommended edition, and self-publishing elsewhere, which I don't actually recommend, and I'll explain in a detailed slide. Now, if you look at writing, you can actually hire people on Fiverr, Upwork, or Elance to write your book for you. Now, novices will charge as little as $2,000, but you're taking a chance to write your book, while a professional will charge upwards of $12,000 and more. I've never hired anyone to write a book and will assume that you'd like to write your own book. Copy editing involves removing grammar, spelling, and usage errors from your manuscript. Your book must be copy edited. A good copy editor will charge from $300 to $2,000 to edit a book. If you choose to do it yourself, use Grammarly or something and enlist friends and peers to get it done right. Next is the book cover. The Amazon Kindle publisher and paperback publisher both offer free book cover creators. Don't do it, since the covers are recognizably bad. Professional covers cost from $50 to $400. It's easy to create a great-looking book cover for free using free-only tools like Canva and free images from places like Pixabay. Kindle self-publishing. Again, you can hire people to publish your Amazon Kindle ebook via the KDP web-based interface. People charge from $200 to $500 to self-publish on KDP. However, self-publishing on KDP is so easy, I have a hard time comprehending hiring someone to do it for me. CreateSpace self-publishing. Now, CreateSpace is an Amazon company that offers free print-on-demand paperback publishing. I say it's free, but in reality, you pay a portion of the book profit, as with ebook publishing. You'll never sell many paperbacks. But publishing via CreateSpace is a marketing strategy for improving your Amazon ebook product page. Finally, there's Smashwords self-publishing. Smashwords is a web-based publishing service that will publish your ebook everywhere except Amazon, so places like Apple, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. If you want to maximize profits, I recommend entering the Kindle Select program and publishing your ebook exclusively on Amazon. That would mean skipping Smashwords. Otherwise, I would publish on Smashwords to maximize my book's distribution. So here you have the recurring expenses in a table. You know, it's almost ridiculous to look at low-end, average, and high-end, since I would never recommend having somebody write and publish your book for you. Have them do everything. So look at my suggested. These are two expenses that you really can't avoid. You want a good book cover to attract people. It's an important part of marketing. And you need to have your book copy edited. Otherwise, people will find errors, and that's bad. They'll give your book 1 star, and suddenly it'll plunge in sales. So, paying someone to write and publish my book for me seems prohibitively expensive. I wouldn't do it. I don't recommend you do. Unfortunately, professional copy editing services are both expensive and virtually unavoidable. You can try and go without them, but it really hurts to get those 1-star reviews on Amazon. Now, marketing expenses. Marketing expenses is a lengthy topic. I mention it here since it may constitute an eventual additional expense. It's not really part of self-publishing, though. Top indie writers spend thousands on marketing, but the options are too extensive to summarize in this video, so I'll be terse. These are common marketing expenses. You might want to set up a WordPress website to promote your book. That can be about $59 a year. Mailing lists. It's important to have a mailing list to market, and MailChimp mailing lists are free. And book promotion sites, it goes on and on as far as what you could spend for book promotion. I recommend that you begin marketing for free by optimizing your Amazon book product page using techniques like this. Write in a series, name your book to be found, do Amazon SEO. Price your book to sell. Charge $2.99, which is the sweet spot. Copyright your book description page. Create a great book cover that attracts readers, and reference your mailing list in your book. So there's all kinds of techniques that you could use to market your book. In summary, save money by creating your own book cover. It's easy and fun. If you're really on a budget, you can self-publish a book for free. Just watch out for the backlash regarding errors copy editing could have caught. If you follow my suggestions, it should cost you approximately $600 to self-publish a book that you write. Note that the average Amazon self-published author sells about 2 books per month at a return of $209 per book to produce a monthly revenue of $4.18. That's the average. It should therefore take you almost 12 years to break even on publishing your book, unless you learn how to market your book. That's a key note. But then, that's the topic for another video lesson. Note that I've documented these expenses in both a spreadsheet and PDF document that are downloadable through links in the video description below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to receive additional guidance on self-publishing in the future. Ask questions if you got them. This has been Brian Jackson, and I'll see you in the classroom.